Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the best Damn EDC, and today I have yet another watch video for you. This is coming from a company that you may not have heard of. The company is called Spinnaker, and they do sailing yacht style watches. Everything has a bit of a nautical theme. Every watch has a totally different theme, and they're making some pretty cool stuff. They reached out, asked if I would be interested in doing an unboxing of a couple of their watches and do a giveaway. I said, sure, send them over. Let's see what it's all about. So here we go. This is the unboxing of the Spinnaker Dumas. Let's do the thing. So here we are with the Spinnaker Dumas, and before I started this video, I did try to do some research on Spinnaker because they are kind of an unknown, especially to me. I mean, I've heard the brand some before, and I think that's mainly from like Mass Drop and maybe some other YouTube videos. But Spinnaker as a brand is largely unknown, but they make seemingly quality watches, automatics, some quartz watches. They're fairly priced, at least competitively with other brands like Seiko or Citizen. And in my search, I really didn't find much of anything. I looked to see their origin or when they started or any of this information, and it wasn't available. And one last thing, full disclosure, I have opened this box because Spinnaker sent me two watches to unbox. And, well, let's just say they didn't label which one was which, so I had to open the box to see which one we needed to unbox first. This one is out now. The other one is not out yet, and I will be unboxing it later. But this, the one in question, is the Spinnaker Dumas. So let's get inside the box. It does come in this plain white box. This is just the outer box. Then you open this up, and there is another box inside. And this is the main box that you will see on all of your Spinnaker watches. It has their website on the front, and it also has hashtag Spinnaker watches on the front and their sale logo. So Spinnaker, like I said in the beginning of this video, they theme everything based on sailing, yachting, and nautical themed stuff. Spinnaker is a type of sail for a sailboat, and that is their logo, aptly named Spinnaker. And because of that, their logo is a sail that is a Spinnaker, I imagine. I'm not a sailing expert. I'm not a watch expert either, but as you guys know, my current watch is the Seiko SUN065. So I will do a little bit of a comparison with this because this is a big, bulky, very large presence watch on the wrist. And this, I think, is gonna be a little less so. So inside, you have, yes, I got it right. That is not the other watch. This is the Dumas. You have the watch on this pillow. We're gonna move that to the side really quickly. It is very heavy, so it's just gonna lay upside down. You have a microfiber cloth inside with a little Spinnaker logo on it as well. Nice little cloth. I'll keep that just in case I do need to wipe the watch off. We're gonna toss this to the side, and then you have just this. That's it. Just this. It says your chance to win $200 off your next purchase. Follow us on Instagram, post an image of your Spinnaker watch, and then they will pick the most interesting each week. You also have up to 15% off your first order. It says sign up for our newsletter and get 15% off your first order, which is kind of funny. I don't know if they threw this in here because I'm unboxing this or if this would typically come in the box. I don't imagine it would, because your first order, you wouldn't get this until after your first order. So I hope that's just for video purposes. I can't be certain. And let's get the watch off the pillow, close up the box, and we're gonna take a closer look at the Dumas. This little band, it feels really nice and soft. And then we're gonna get the plastic. Actually, let's get this annoying tag off the buckle first. Let's get the plastic, if I can, off the watch. I've been waiting to do this for so long. This watch arrived almost 2 weeks ago now. And it's been sitting there teasing me. I've been dying to get my hands on this thing. And it's actually already started moving a little bit. It is not wound, and there's one more little sticker there, and I believe there's one on the case back as well, which I can leave on for now. You can also get a Milanese band with it as well, but I really prefer this. I would probably never wear a Milanese. On this, you do have a branded buckle. It says Spinnaker on it, and this is a 22 millimeter band. So that's what you're going to be looking at if you want to replace this. It does work perfectly fine. Unfortunately, I don't have any 22 millimeter band, so I will need to order one for this watch. And I did say earlier that this was a hexagonal case. It's actually octagonal. There are 8 sides to this. And this does harken back to an old 1970s Omega, and they actually mention it in here. I have some notes to the side. You can see here, inspired by the watch shapes and designs of the 1970s, the Dumas represents a more muscular form in dive watch design. Taking its name from the famed diving pioneer Frédéric Dumas, the watch harkens to a couple of dive watches that were designed explicitly for pure function and practicality in the role as pieces of diving instrumentation. For the case with a more muscular and bold silhouette, the watch leans on more interesting industrial-like forms, which captured the imagination of watch designers in the 1970s for practical as well as aesthetic reasons, as a strong octagonal watch chassis is topped with mineral crystal 120 unidirectional turning bezel with luminous calibration. Before I go on, I want to talk about this bezel just a little bit. That is a mineral crystal covering the bezel, and you have to kind of dig to find this, but this is a sapphire crystal covering the actual watch face. So there's a mineral crystal around the bezel. The actual watch face has a sapphire crystal. The other thing is it is unidirectional. So like many, it will not turn back, which is a safety feature for when you're diving. So it will only turn one way. And speaking of diving, there is your water resistance, 1,000 feet or 300 meters, 30 atmospheres. And it is an automatic watch, as you can probably tell by the movement of the second hand. The case itself is 44 millimeters in diameter from lug to lug. You have a screw down crown that is actually protected by 2 lugs, which is really, really neat. There is a white Spinnaker logo on that lug. I'll give you a closer look at that lug. It's a really, really neat feature. I love little design cues like that. The case itself is a brushed finish, but the bezel is actually a little polished finish. And then you've got your black with the lumes on top. Those are Swedish Super Luminova for the bezel, and I believe for the lumes on the watch face itself. So for your hands and for all of the hour markers, which are actually raised, which is a really, really neat feature. I like that. And this, of all of the watches that Spinnaker has, this watch face is, I would say, maybe the most tame, because they tend to have textured watch faces with raised hour markers and tons of different design cues on the watch face itself. So there's a lot of attention to detail in all of the faces that they offer. And this is probably one of the cleaner. They do have some more minimal than this, but this one is probably one of the more clean designs out there for Spinnaker watches. The watch case is actually 15 millimeters thick, so it's not super thin, and the watch weighs 20 grams, so it's got a little bit of a heft to it. Not as much as the Seiko that I'm wearing, but it does have some heft, and it does stick up off the wrist a fair amount. I will get it on my wrist here in a little bit. This one is the black version. This also comes in a navy version, which has a navy silicone band as well. But for all intents and purposes, they're the same. Other than that, the warranty on this watch is 2 years. So the last thing to note about the watch itself is the movement. Let me go ahead and get this other piece of plastic off the back of the watch. This is a Seiko NH35 TMI movement inside, and it's already started going. I haven't really done a whole lot to it. So you've got your water resistance listed there. You've got this open case back, exhibition case back, whichever one you want to call it. You've got your model number there, which is SP-5070, and then automatic movement. It doesn't say much else than that, but there it says Japan movement and 24 joules, all stainless steel. So the case is actually made of a 316L stainless steel, but that movement inside there is in fact the NH35 TMI from Seiko. This screw down crown, I've not done this, so we're gonna do this really quickly and maybe set the time to the Seiko, which was set just a couple of days ago. So you unscrew this counterclockwise, and once you do, if you turn the crown clockwise, it winds it. And if you pull out once, that will be your date adjustment. It is the 4th. It is not, there we go. We're gonna go to number 4 and pull out one more time for your time setting. And we've got quite a bit of time to adjust here. Let's go around this way to 23, 25. Don't have my second hand set exactly, but I will start it on the tick here just for the sake of time for this video, and set. And to screw that back in, just press in and turn at the same time. It is a little hard to get started, but I do know that I've got a fairly large wrist because I typically end up in the 3rd or 4th last loop on any watch strap that I wear. They do recommend keeping this watch on your wrist for at least 8 hours to keep it running. So now let's take a look at these lumes. I have a massive Marauder X7R from Olight, and we're gonna blast this with 12,000 lumens for a couple of seconds and see what we can do for the lumes, comparing both the Seiko and the Dumas. Give it just a couple of seconds, 12,000 lumens. This thing times out because it gets a little too hot. And there you go. Those are the two side by side. So those lumes are actually quite nice. There's a look at the lumes on the Dumas. Those are quite nice and visible. Be interested to see how well they stand up. So there you have it. There is the Spinnaker Dumas. And this is the black version. I'm glad they sent me the black version. I'm not a huge fan of navy colored watches, but this one works really, really well. I love those orange accents. Kind of got that old school look to it, that old school vibe, and it's got these tiny little design touches that really set it off a lot. And I like this. This will be on my wrist quite a bit. I've been dying to get it on my wrist just to wear it and try something different. And this one will be on my wrist for couple of weeks just to see if I really like it, and if I do, I'll continue to wear it. Good on you, Spinnaker. I will be interested to see the other watch that you sent me, so if you want to see that unboxing, be sure to stay tuned. But that is going to do it for the Spinnaker Dumas. So this is the part of the video where I'm supposed to tell you that I really like this watch. Tell you that I've been wearing it for a week, and I put a Zulu strap on it, and I really like it. However, I did really like it. I love the way this watch looks, but I have concerns about the durability of it because I was setting up to shoot this part of the video on Monday, and I was checking the mail right before I did because I heard the mailman come, and I closed the door, and when I did, just the latch just grazed the bezel of this watch, and now the bezel is cracked. I don't know if you can see it, but the bezel on this watch is in fact cracked, and it was such a small blow that I didn't even think about it. I didn't stop to look at the watch. I just kept going about my business. I was getting in here to set up to shoot the video spot, and I looked down at my wrist to take it off, and I noticed something on it. I actually thought it was lint on the bezel, and nope, I cracked it. It was cracked. It's actually raised just a little bit and catches your finger. The crystal is actually jagged and sticking out of the bezel. So that happened. Rather than immediately publish the video and not give Spinnaker a chance to respond, I did reach out to them. I told them what happened. I asked if they had any comment or any insight to give, maybe that this wasn't normal or something. They didn't answer my question. So it puts me in a weird spot because I do like the design, but for a $350 watch, for it to crack by just glancing across, just a glancing blow across the bezel from a door, which is gonna happen to me every week, probably every day, to be honest. I always whack my wristwatches on something. Yeah, it just makes me very, very wary of, one, the durability of this watch in particular, but also mineral crystal bezels in general. Maybe this is just an especially weak one. Maybe this one had a flaw in it. Maybe it is a fluke. I don't know, but I would err on the side of caution here only because I don't have a frame of reference. I don't know much more about this company. I do have another watch from them, and I believe they're sending me yet another one, so I have more unboxings from them to come, but they are sending me a replacement for this watch, and I will wear it because I want to see if the same thing happens. Just a glancing blow is enough to shatter the bezel. And it's unfortunate because this video is gonna end a little open-ended, but the best I can do, I've reached out to them for comment. I will let you know if they do say anything else, but also I'll let you know how this thing stands up. That's just where this ends. I cracked it after 5 days of wearing the Spinnaker Dumas. But regardless of that, if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, hit that thumbs up button below and subscribe to see more stuff like this in the future, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. If you want to support the channel, help keep the lights on, and help fund more videos, be sure to go to patreon.com/bestdamnedc. Follow us around the web. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at bestdamnedc. You can find me, Taylor Martin, on Twitter and Instagram at CasperTech. And until next time, carry on. But just don't whack your wrist on the wall or something. Whatever may cause damage to your watch, just don't do that.